Johann Joachim Becher stands as a paradigm of interdisciplinary innovation in the turbulent era of the 30 Years' War. His extensive contributions span the realms of medicine, alchemy, early chemistry, and economic theory, serving as a precursor to the modern scientific method and the phlogiston theory. In a landscape marked by rapid intellectual and technological transformations, Becher's work fused rigorous empirical observation with visionary economic reforms. His multifaceted legacy is embedded not only in his technical writings on mineralogy and chemical processes, but also in his pioneering efforts in Austrian cameralism, where he devised strategies for urban economic revival and industrial innovation. The depth of his analyses, rich with numerical and fact-driven examinations, resonates with the complexities inherent in early modern science. In this video, technical insights converge with creative interpretation as we dissect his methods, theories, and enduring impacts on both the scientific and economic domains. Born in the city of Speyer amidst the chaos of the 30 Years' War, Johann Joachim Becher confronted early adversity that would shape his intellectual pursuits. Losing his father, the local Lutheran minister, during his childhood, young Becher was compelled to assume significant family responsibilities. With his mother and two brothers depending on him, he mastered various handicrafts and cultivated a robust autodidactic approach to learning. His evenings were devoted to studying a broad range of subjects, making extensive use of available texts and experimental observations. This early period was characterized by a drive to merge practical skills with scholarly inquiry, laying the groundwork for his later contributions. At the tender age of 13, while others his own age might have sought leisure, Becher was already immersed in dynamic problem-solving and practical experimentation. His modest beginnings included teaching in local settings to earn a meager income, further honing his ability to communicate complex ideas effectively. By his late teens, his intellectual curiosity compelled him to explore subjects from philosophy and alchemy to nascent notions of chemistry. In 1654, at the age of 19, Becher published his first significant discourse under a pseudonym, a bold statement that hinted at his future interdisciplinary explorations. This early work, focusing on philosophical universal medicine and encrypted under a mystic alias, was emblematic of the era's blend of tradition and innovation in scientific thought. His determination to excel, despite personal and social adversities, set a precedent for a lifelong engagement with empirical research and scientific rigor. With every challenge, Becher was propelled further into a realm where practical know-how met theoretical exploration. After establishing himself as a formidable thinker, Becher's academic career advanced rapidly. In 1657, he was appointed as a professor of medicine at the University of Mainz and served as personal physician to the Archbishop-Elector, a role that provided him with both prestige and intellectual freedom. His early publications, such as Diskurs von der großmächtigen philosophischen universal Arznei, showcased his innovative approach to integrating alchemical allegory with empirical observation. This work, later published in Latin and included in the prestigious Theatrum Chemicum, signaled his willingness to challenge traditional boundaries. Complementing his medical inquiries, Becher authored Metallurgia in 1660, a technical treatise that explored metallurgical processes in astounding detail, and Character Pro Notitia Linguarum Universale, which proposed a universal lexicon of 10,000 words to facilitate scientific communication. Soon afterwards came his Oedipum Chemicum and an extensive treatise on animals, plants, and minerals, which underscored his polymathic interest in cataloging nature's constituents. These publications were rife with technical language, quantitative analysis, and methodical experimentation, appealing strongly to the community of early chemists and natural philosophers. His work demonstrated a rigorous analytical framework that intertwined chemical processes with broader natural philosophy, signaling a synthesis of practice and theory. Through these scholarly endeavors, Becher laid a robust intellectual foundation that prefigured later systematic scientific experimentation, simultaneously contributing to both his personal reputation and the broader scientific dialogue of his time. In constructing his early career, Becher was methodical in indexing empirical observations alongside theoretical reflections. His writings contained extensive numerical data, experimental protocols, and chemical recipes that exhibit the meticulous precision required for early laboratory practice. In a decisive transition from academia to public service, Becher assumed influential roles in the imperial court of Vienna. His appointment as Counselor of Commerce was not only a recognition of his intellectual prowess, but also a strategic move by Emperor Leopold I to channel innovative economic ideas into state policy. Working closely with the Prime Minister, Becher devised methodologies to rejuvenate urban economies destabilized by war. His detailed analyses of trade routes, quantitative assessments of artisan productivity, and proposals to dismantle restrictive guild monopolies reflected his deep understanding of early modern economic mechanisms. Embodied in his extensive reports were data-driven models predicting the impact of commercial reforms on production and population growth. Becher's involvement in establishing the Commerce Commission and various industrial projects illustrated the practical application of his theories. Through carefully orchestrated initiatives, he led reforms that stimulated sectors from silk manufacturing to wool production. His economic prescriptions were characterized by their mathematical rigor and systematic examination of market dynamics, setting the stage for future advancements in economic science. Becher's reforms aimed to integrate scientific precision with pragmatic governance, thereby enhancing the empire's capacity for wealth generation and social stabilization. In combining empirical research with legislative action, Becher transformed theoretical postulations into actionable reforms that redefined the interplay between science, commerce, and governance. Moreover, Becher meticulously quantified economic variables, calculating output ratios, production efficiencies, and labor contributions with a mathematical exactitude that was remarkable for his time. Becher's contributions to the natural sciences and industrial innovation were both profound and technically sophisticated. His formulation of the phlogiston theory, although later refuted, incorporated extensive experimental data and numerical analysis that anticipated modern thermodynamics. In Physica Subterranea, Becher meticulously cataloged mineralogical processes, detailing chemical reactions and the material properties of ores with quantitative precision. His work linked the behavior of combustibles with the liberation of a mysterious constitutive element, a concept which stimulated debate among early natural philosophers. Beyond his chemical experiments, Becher delved into alchemical investigations, where he combined esoteric symbolism with rigorous laboratory methods. He proposed detailed protocols for synthesizing compounds, and his writings featured precise measurements, reaction ratios, and thermal calculations. In the industrial arena, Becher applied his technical expertise to optimize metallurgical processes, improving smelting techniques and advancing furnace technology. His comprehensive treatises incorporated statistical data, economic cost analyses, and empirical observations to justify the feasibility of large-scale production. Becher's integrated approach combined chemical inquiry with mechanical engineering principles, reflecting an early understanding of process optimization. Through detailed schematics and annotated experiments, his contributions provided a methodological framework that both challenged and refined established alchemical doctrines and prefigured the rise of modern chemical engineering. In addition, his quantitative methodologies, which included rigorous calibration of instruments and precise thermometric readings, underscored the critical nature of measurement in chemical experiments. During the latter part of his career, Becher's restless intellect led him on extensive travels across Europe, broadening both his scientific and industrial pursuits. His journey to the Netherlands and later to England, Scotland, and Cornwall were driven by specific requests for his expertise in mining and mineral extraction processes. While in Scotland, under the patronage of Prince Rupert, he inspected intricate mining operations, scrutinizing ore quality and evaluating extraction techniques with precise measurements. In England, he interacted with members of the Royal Society, and his contentious paper aimed at challenging Christian Huygens' application of the pendulum showcased his readiness to engage in high-level scientific debate. Back in Central Europe, he advised on projects ranging from silk production to the establishment of textile workhouses, deploying quantitative assessments to optimize industrial output. His technical analyses of furnace temperatures and metallurgical efficiencies were highly regarded by contemporaries, bridging experimental practice with pragmatic engineering solutions. Despite varied successes and occasional setbacks, such as administrative corruption and resource misallocations, each venture added layers of technical sophistication to his legacy. Becher's ability to integrate empirical research with practical venture making provided innovative approaches that resonated with both scientific and economic experts. His later years in London were marked by continued engagement with both the scientific community and entrepreneurial projects, culminating in a legacy that fused methodical rigor with creative industrial entrepreneurship. His legacy in industrial chemistry remains a subject of in-depth technical analyses today. Becher's multifaceted legacy endures through his pioneering contributions across scientific and economic disciplines. His work laid foundational principles in early chemistry, while his reforms influenced the evolution of Austrian cameralism. Detailed quantitative analysis and rigorous experimentation remain hallmarks of his methodology. Scholars continue to explore his data-driven approaches to mineralogy, metallurgy, and economic policy.